It's a Drow who's going to take time for farm. It's a Drow matching up against Tango and a Ricky, so you do have some jump for the back line and ways to catch Palos out. It's going to be a little bit longer till Palos is secure. He might have to go for that BKB here. Probably should go for that BKB just for some protection from the roll. And that's a Drow with the timing of, like, what, Dragonlance, Force Staff BKB, or just Dragonlance BKB? That doesn't sound particularly great when you compare just how much more Tundra can do. The big issue for Execration is really just how slow Tino's lane is. Like, this Visage off to such a slow start, level 4 in the lane, without any sort of early itemization, no progression his items yet, beyond just laning items. If he doesn't have impact, then you can't tie into that route timing at 6. You can't go for those pushes, you can't go for those plays.
And there goes Carlo, bot lane, 33, able to secure a kill on the Tidehunter now, so 0-4 the way of Tundra. A very confident kind of start here from the dire end of things. Mid lane, rotations coming in. Bob gonna avoid the Rolling Thunder for now, but still get stunned up onto the high ground. Saksa is around, but you see, won't be able to follow up at all on the pos for Ricky. Nice kind of positioning there from Bob to get near the cliff, knowing he's gonna get knocked into the high ground anyway. So just never needed to really throw out a remnant to try and get away from that. With that, 9, looks like he's just gonna go for a reset. Back to the base for him.
He still maintains a pretty sweet XP lead, still a level ahead of Bob. And Bob has some room to recover, but it's slow going for Ember. Not too far behind, to be fair. So he does still have room to grow. I think the one thing is they really do have to protect Palos. So you're getting levels here in Thunder, and you can run him down.
Let's see.
It was
A little bit more quiet across the map, though. Here comes Bob. Would be targeted, though. No, the chains lands on snaking, and that's it. Bob just, that's enough for him. He just chains and walks away. Back to the mid lane he goes. Just a bit of a warning shot. Does make 9 rotate up on the Pango at the very least, so you do force a rotation. Problem is, 9's probably going to find some kills out of this. Shanks already probably just going to get blown up and does. Just instant Laguna from Skidder. We'll get it done. And well, 9 even looking for a bit more now. Love to find this Visage. Tino, they'll check the tree line. They know he's in there somewhere. Tino going to try and juke this one out. No Rolling Thunder yet, but there you go. They find him. Bob will rotate, but it's all too late. Light Strike Array's already landed. Skinner, he'll find himself a third kill as Bob. Still gets stunned up here by 9. Rolling Thunder, we're trying to get him to sway out. Bob on the chase with the Remnant would love this kill. Chains will connect 9. He'll stick charge up, trying to run. Light Strike Array does land. He might just make it out. Bob is still chasing, but no, this Light of Fist! It doesn't land. 9's gonna be alright. Skidder, he will lose his courier at the lead, so you do lose your Javelin. So something does come out of this for Execration, but they find no kills.
Yeah, it's rough going. Thunder are just playing so clean right now, not giving any openings out. They're even chasing out Bob some more. They're not leaving this Ember alone. They understand Execration's tempo will come from the Ember, so they just match his move from the top. 9 recognizes that he has to just destroy what Bob wants to do this game and ensure the Ember is pretty much a non-factor in this game. At some point, he is going to be mobile.
Skidder, he does get caught. This time around, they will secure the kill. Tino with the Familiars, John, able to finally get it done.
That's a big kill. Like, again, Tino's lane has been pretty disastrous. Needs any catch-up you can find. And with the Familiars, you can start to apply some pressure. You could maybe even connect towards Palos if you feel the need to just melt a couple of objectives really quickly, but you don't really have the aura game going on Tino yet. Still finding that kill opportunity is big. First kill of the game for Execration. They have a lot more to close out, though. And for Tundra's side, yes, you lose your Lena, but she's still farming really damn well. It's not putting that big of a hindrance to her, although she is starting to lag a little bit behind in that effort, but she has been staying in that lane, not really going for any sort of jungle creeps, and just feeding off of those lane creeps anyway. There's still room to grow. And you're not really taking any more of the map here in Exa. Like, yes, you find your first kill. Map pressure is not changing. Tundra still has all of their tier 1s really healthy, so this push timing Execration's looking to pull out with round Visage. Not quite there yet. Then again, you've also got your own stall in Exa again with Carlos, Treant, and just living armor up when Tundra does commit, which they don't really care for. Their lineup's not built to push outside of Lina, so you can just play in your own jungle, farm up, and look for these pickoffs every time.
be a big fight over these 12-minute power runes.
Has been
A
killed.
lot of rotations incoming. Sarktor revealing himself by taking Bob's courier. There is going to be a power rune down on the bottom side, it seems. Bob, he picks up the haste, and they've got 9 again. Massive pick up here for Execration, just bringing the numbers, ensuring they get it done. Very important they keep dealing with this Pango like this. And now another chain's out, Bob. He's going to find Snaking this time around, and that'll be another. Snaking trying to survive, but can't do it. He will drop to the Ember.
Radiant's bottom tower is under
Big kills.
attack.
Bob bouncing back from a couple of deaths in the laning phase. They drag Palos in to get this pressure on the mid-tier 1. The push time for Execration. Connecting ever so surely onto the mid. Big tower to take. Opens up the jungle. Relieves some of the pressure on Tino, as he can start to pressure that tier 1 mid with Lina shifting into the jungle. Still a lot of stacks here from Tundra that the side of Execration haven't really contested. Even with the mid-tier 1 gone, they haven't been able to really scout out as much. And just look at the difference in information. Tundra, they've got good wards in the triangle. They've managed to block off a camp, making it really hellish for the side of Execration to match what Tundra's doing in their own economy. And even if you bleed out kills like that, with your map state the way it is for Tundra, you're still fairly alright for that. You're still going to hit this 15-minute timing for Sox as well. And that's where the aggression really kicks in for Tundra, with all the setup in the world.
Yeah. The Sleeping Dart is so broken again when you have a hero like Lina to follow up with the Light Strike Array. It's not very fun getting put to sleep with that Sleeping Dart. Tundra, they're going to smoke up as 3, head towards that top side and see if they can find Tino. Shank's in a very nice position to break the smoke. It still looks like he might just get caught as Tino. He will go for a bit of a run, but the Rolling Thunder will eventually connect from 9. Then your Laguna is going to provide plenty of damage from Skidder, who does now have the full Maelstrom up. 9 even picking up the Diffusal at the same time. Mid lane, rotation in from Skidder trying to hunt down Bob on the Ember, but he's going to be okay to back off. Still Tundra finding a very important target for themselves in that Visage. That seems like it's going to be good enough for them. They might even run into Bob. Chains out. Bob will be the hunter. Snaking being the hunted. He will go down.
Execration starting to get a grip on the game. Finding some good punishment out. Still only support kills there, at least with that kill on Snaking, but you're building up in Bob. This is really the pushing point. Bob, Maelstrom flying out of his own now. More damage coming out from him. Able to control the lanes a lot better, contributing damage here. And Palos is just getting some good participation out of these fights as well. Like, this Drow has been left alone. We talked about maybe jumping her down in bot. She just shifts into mid, goes into the jungle. And if you're not able to catch Palos out, it can farm a lot faster than Lina early on, depending on the map state, but it certainly doesn't fall behind the Lina all too much. You'll have to respect that Drow as the game goes on. Poking and prodding up top here.
They are still trying to find that top tier 1 tower as Execration. But Tundra's doing the exact same thing down at bot lane at the moment as 9, trying his best to defend with the Swashbuckle. Rolling Thunder is back up and available if he wants to try and commit, but he needs the help. They are incoming now. 33 joining the team with his own pipe up on the Tide. Has Ravage available. Bob, he will leave the building. Tino, he may not have the same luxury. He's going to try and run down south, but there's no way he gets out. Meanwhile, Shanks will at least TP away. But Tino's constantly the sacrificial lamb. Going down once again on the offlane Visage. And Tundra, they'll just take down the top tier 1 tower.
Gonna be the first tower take for Tundra. Not the biggest objective in the world. You still maintain pretty decent triangle control from Execration's end, so you're not too annoyed about that on X's part, but Tundra will make use of that opportunity with his smoke. Good angle to maybe catch out Bob if he's getting a bit too aggressive here.
Yeah, Bob's very far forward.
Radiant's top tower is under
Tundra
attack.
still smoking around. Bob gets lucky with an arcane rune. Sarktor not going to bother trying to jump in on the Ember. We'll just leave him be. He does have the Sleeping Dart on the way though with the shard, so big itemization here from Sarktor is now Skidder. He's a massive target if they can find him, and they've got the chains out into the Gust. The Lina is going to go down. That's a huge pickup for Execration. Meanwhile, towards the south though, it seems like Tino once again has been caught out, but Bob is going to rotate in on the Ember, but won't be able to do much without some help, so he'll leave it be. Tino goes down for the Pos 1 Lina. It's still a positive trade in the end for Execration.
They're more than happy. You've just accepted at this point that Tino is just going to get a bit sacked here. Progression's going to be a bit slow. He's still slowly going to the right pack. They have revealed that Sleeping Dart, though.
They have. try and take down Shanks with the Rubik. Rolling Thunder from 9, trying to chase down Bob, but Bob's going to be just fine to back his way out. They are buying a lot of space though. 33 is just casually taking over that T1 mid tower. Won't completely take it away, but it's basically already dead. Very, very low on HP. Bob, he gets caught by a sleeping dart. They'll smoke scream him up. 9, he'll move in, and they've just got so much damage. Even with Shanks popping the Rolling Thunder himself on the Rubik, it is not going to make the difference. Meanwhile, bottom lane, though, Skidder is going to get caught once again by Palos, and the Drow does pick up the Lena, but it is going to cost her own life. Andra will punish. Skidder will hand over a tip.
We're starting some voice lines afterwards, and they're finding ways to deal with Alina, right? That is the big question on my mind from Execration. And will you be able to kind of keep that Lina in check? And they have done a great job of it. It is coming at sacrifices. They play really far forward in that bot jungle as well. And just maybe overstepping their bounds, not respecting the TP rotations that can come out. Sacrifice 2 big cores for that kill. So you are building up quite nicely on 9. This Pango is just a menace. They fuse a lot. All the spins in the world, so much output to play with the team. And we're just seeing the difference right now in what both teams want to do. We've seen Tundra group up a lot more. They know they've got stronger team fight. They haven't even had to pop any Ravage from 33 just yet. There's no need to. They've got enough control from the Ricky, from the Lena coming out, from the rolls that we're getting here from 9. The side of Execration, they're doing a pretty good job to just stay equal despite these rocky lanes. Like, it looked pretty atrocious early on. But they're about to hit some good timings. Palos BKB will allow the Drought to just stand forward, not really care about anything at all. And after you get a couple of 4 stabs up on everyone else, maybe on the supports, you have much more play. In fact, you already have the blink up on Carlo. So the blink overgrowth's there as well to set up and get some saves out if need be.
Well, it seems like Execration, they do want the fight. There was a 3-man smoke, but it's not going to amount to much. Still, Roshan has started, and it seems like Execration are well aware that it might be happening. They do jump in. Shanks, he'll come to Swain himself, realizing, but does go for the Rolling Thunder. So he will be able to get out. They've got the information, but they also know they have to fight into a Ravage, into a Rolling Thunder of the Pango. And it's just not going to be that easy in the Roshan's pit to make a jump in. Especially with the constant smoke screens flying out from Saksa. Very, very hard to know when to jump in as well, as Roshan is still going down, very low now. Execration, they are sticking around, but it doesn't seem like they're going to even try to. They might just let this one go to Tundra. Skidder will pick up the Aegis, and that'll be enough for them. Execration, they'll just take the time to keep that farm going.
Just sit back. You know you can't take fights in such a tight area. You can't even get the blink overgrowth with the smoke screen on top, so just surrender it, cut your losses. Tundra, they are ready to make plays though. And they've had their ults up. They are ready to just go in, make a move, and get a good flank here on Shanks and but it doesn't feel like you really want the Visage anymore. You want to find that Drow. You want to find Palos. He's always playing the opposite side of the map, so just very heads up, taking all the safe farm for himself, and just allowing his team to make that space. You're starting to rapidly hit this point where Tundra's mid-game is just going to be massive. BKB coming up next for Skidder. So you're not going to have great waste control from Exa unless you get Carlo with a good blink overgrowth. Even then, again, pretty hard to do in this game with a Ricky around if he camps you constantly here. There's massive ways of just canceling the blink from range anyway. So the angles for Carlo are just super limited unless he just sneaks around really, really carefully.
Yeah, Tundra still sticking around here at the top lane. Might rotate mid because the tier 1 tower is still standing, and Carlo, he's going to jump in here with Palos. They're going to try up to 33, but that's way too tanky of a target. Sleeping Dart is going to fly in right onto the ground. Now with the Rolling Thunder and the Ravage, it's going to connect on all 3 heroes of Execration. Palos pops the BKB, trying to fight back. He'll move on to Snaking and at least finds an Undying. They will lose Carlo, but at the very least, Palos does survive.
And Palos survives. It does cost him his BKB charge, which is a pretty big take from Tundra. We did have to sacrifice the Ravage, so you did manage to pop out or force out a pretty big teamfight ult there and still live through it for Execration. But you can't really reach into these tankier targets just yet. If Palos can just focus in, you could still take out someone like 33, but it's a very prolonged process. And they are still taking some decent fights, even with the Aegis threat up from Tundra. But for Tundra's part, as this game goes on, it just feels like they have pretty sick timings to hit. Not that Execration doesn't scale as well. Bob, he's still lagging behind by a small amount, but the Ember can scale well, though.
Radiant's
Bob,
bottom tower
A few
is under
panic remnants
attack.
there, but does get his way out. That's all that matters for him. Because the bottom tier 1 tower not going to last. Skidder just gets right to work on the
Radiant's
laner.
bottom tower
We'll
has
take care of it,
fallen.
no problems. So 7 to 12 now, 3k advantage still the way of Tundra. And obviously for Execration, they don't really want to try and fight into Tundra with the Aegis up on Skidder. Just going to have to wait another 2 minutes or so before they even try for a fight. And I think for Tundra, they're just more than happy with this. They love the farming time, they're just very efficient as a team. They still control majority of the map, I'd argue. But they are yet to take that mid-tier 1 tower. So 33, he will move in and try to get that done. It is a very slow process for the Tide, but with Skidder just behind him, it's not going to take too long. And it's gone.
Radiant's middle tower has fallen.
They stalled that one well in Execration. I remember a while ago it looked low enough to drop with 3-3 up front, but they keep it up for, what, an additional 10 minutes there?
Radiant
So they're buying themselves some good time on Execration's part, but Tundra is still in the driver's seat. Not a massive lead, 3k, but you know, they have much more even farm distribution between their three cores. You're lagging pretty far behind on
Radiant's
Tino and
bottom
Bob
tower
here
is under
on
attack.
Execration's part while getting Palos up and running.
Radiant structures
You do have the
are
aura starting to
fortified.
come together now. You've got the mech up and running now as well for 9. Into the Guardian Greaves, not too far off.
Dire's
Tino
middle tower
also has
is
his own
under
mech
attack.
up along with the Guardian Greaves, so it is going to be one of those games where it's going to be down to how well you can use your auras as well. So we still get the classic Southeast Asian pauses. How? We're across the world. It was a 30-hour flight, guys.
Yeah, you can take the boys out of SCA, but you can't take the SCA out of the boys, Jonathan. There'll always be these problems for the SCA boys, and it seems like the power went out on the PC of Carlo, so maybe a bit of time to reconnect. But you know, current state of the game, 3k advantage towards Tundra, 7 to 12. It still feels like they're in complete control of this game one. Mind you, the one kind of great factor for Execration is Palos is top of the net worth board right now. On the Drown, he has been for quite a while, so you can kind of rely on Palos to try and win you out the game. But when you look at the other cores of Execration, it feels like they're kind of being sacrificed for that. You know, Bob's not really
They are.
farming that amazingly on the Ember, and well, for Tino, we kind of know what happened to Tino at that top lane. It wasn't a very pleasant experience for him.
Yeah, he's managed to recover quite well, though. Again, already on the mech, not too far off from the Guardian Greaves. Just needs the energy booster and the buckler coming up next. So he's going to be able to be that walking aura bot for the team with a rate pack up as well. I think the one thing in the scaling for these two teams, as this drags on into the 30-40 minute mark, the one thing is, for Tundra, it feels like you have a bit of a timer on snaking on the Undying, right? Like he's not going to be the aura bot, so that's not going to be his main contribution. He will have the Tombstone to throw out, but right now it's stuck on level 1, so he's going to need more levels, and that's not something you'll pump into your Pos 5 at this point as well. The one issue for Tundra, like your cores will scale decently. Like Pango can scale quite nicely, Tide can itemize the scale quite nicely as well, as 33 is going for the Hex here for just some more instant jump control with his Blink and Force Staff up and running. But I am curious about how much snaking can contribute. If you force these fights in really favorable areas, the Tombstone's all just going to be great. And that can just force the attention of the Drow away, force the attention of the Visage away onto that target, providing openings for the rest of Tundra. But your hold for the Ember, once you pop Ravage, it's going to be down to roll, not the most reliable. It's going to be down to LSA. Maybe just play with this LSA Dart setup. I haven't been able to really catch Bob out recently. To be fair, he's not going for anything too defensive either. He's got the Sanj going into the Kaya Sanj. No BKB. So he is vulnerable if you find the angle, but they have not been able to do that recently. And it's all just going to be down to execution. If they don't manage to, say, instantly jump these two big cores in the Ember and Drow in these fights, as they have done before, then Execration finds a window to back off, down to BKB usage there as well, and spacing. So it's not cut and dry. I don't think a 3k lead's enough to boost your confidence that much for Tundra, but the way they're playing the map is definitely a lot more in control. Execration are the ones constantly backing off. They're taking over the top jungle. They could go for a bit of a shove in the top tier 1, but you're going to have to trade in that case. And Tundra will always be willing to fight in a fight back for the death up top with the Aegis still running on Skitter, and he still has a full minute in that thing.
He certainly does. See what they do. I mean, you might want to try for the tier 2, but like you said, you're not going to have enough time. They will fight. They will TP rotate. Tundra more than happy to oblige, though it is still a close game. Like, it's a 3k advantage to Tundra, but Execration, no way out of this game yet. It's a matter of when they're actually going to go for the big 5v5 team fight, though, because we haven't seen one of those. And those are the kind of fights that tend to swing the whole game quite hard in one way or the other. Still waiting for this reconnection here from Carlo, though. Hopefully everything going just fine. Meanwhile, Bob, I mean, he's gone for the Kai Assange build-up, which is rather interesting for the Ember. Not opting for a BKB himself this game, just going for the Kai Assange instead. Suppose it's fair enough. Maybe just the status resistance a bit better when you're playing against the Riki. That Sleeping Dart, very, very annoying to play against. Does feel like one of those games, though, where there is a lot of impact having a BKB, though, I must admit. There's just so many stuns available on Tundra.
Yeah.
Just doesn't feel like he needs it yet.
Yeah, I think that's fair. Like, there is an advantage to having a later BKB. You're going to have that 9-second charge at, around 30 minutes in, depending on the timing Bob wants to hit for that. And that just turns the team fight really well, especially to hero as mobile as an Ember. 9 seconds to freely do what you want in the middle of these fights without being controlled. It's a big opening. So I don't mind that too much, as the side of Execration, again, aren't really taking too many wider fights. They just aren't willing. They understand that's where Tundra shines, so they just sit back, play this economy game, build up, really build up under Drow, and just hit that point where they're massive.
Don't give up.
We do have a reconnect coming out from Carlos soon.
Paris.
It's very nice to see, as he does reconnect. There you go. It feels so strange. Like, every time they're on lands, these Southeast Asian teams always have a PC issue. Are they just cursed? Is it something when they touch something? It's just it just short circuits because they know, hey, it's Southeast Asian. Let's short circuit this PC. There you go.
You always tell me Filipino is just hard mode in life, so there you go, John. The PC knows. They know.
Radiant's bottom tower is under attack.
He beats down bot from
showing
Bob.
down bot. And that's I mean, he can just play tag with Side Fist, but they've got a lot here if they want to try to kill off this Ember.
Certainly do have quite a bit. Bob playing on the edge here with that Sleight of Fist, but it doesn't seem like Tundra want to try and react to this. Just kind of ignore him for now. The T2 tower is still dropping relatively quickly thanks to Skitter. No creep wave there, but the backdoor has not kicked in. And it just goes down. Bob's trying to creep skip the best he possibly can right now, but it just doesn't matter because they've already lost the T2 tower. And meanwhile, Saksa is currently just waiting for Bob exactly where he remnanted. Bob will be allowed to walk away for now, as it doesn't seem like Saksa had the support he wanted.
Dire's top tower is under attack.
Just constantly getting information on this Riki, though, for the side of Tundra. They group up once again into the mid lane, just ready to take these T2 towers. Jump in, Carlo, he'll be targeted by 33. Saksa's there with the Sleeping Dart. The Treant getting almost deleted already, and there's your Laguna Blade. That'll get it done. Carlos, he's going to try and move in on the Skitter. Skitter, he does have his Aegis expire, and BKB is popped to try and back his way up. But Bob, I thought he might try for a chase, but it's basically just on his own. I mean, this is all for a Treant. At the very least, they do force the buyback of Carlo as well.